What's up, everybody? Ryan from Racer X Garage here. Before we get on with the rest of the content in this video, I wanted to share some cool information with everybody. We've actually surpassed our 100 subscriber mark on our YouTube channel, and that's really cool for a couple of reasons. First of all, anybody that's going to take their time out to watch our videos, we are super appreciative because we're new to this, we're learning, and I think we're doing pretty well. I think we've got a long ways to go, and we're just glad you guys are along for the ride. So thank you for subscribing if you have subscribed. If you haven't, please consider doing so. Secondly, when you have 100 subscribers or more on YouTube, YouTube allows you to create your own custom URL. And that means we've actually created ours finally. So we have youtube.com/RacerXGarage. So that's really cool because it's going to allow us to share the brand. It's going to allow us to share on social media, the internet. We can create stickers and put them on our projects. And it allows you guys to share that information as well if you choose to do so, which we would appreciate it if you did. So we're really excited about that. Secondly, I'm actually in process right now of creating RacerXGarage.com. So I'm creating the website for the brand, so you'll be able to check out the projects. You'll be able to kind of see where we're going to be at, if we're going to be at races or if we're going to be at car shows or whatnot. Also, what that does is it opens the door for us to sell some merchandise. So with that said, I'd like to announce that we're actually going to be creating our very first Racer X Garage t-shirt. But we need your help to do so. On our Instagram at the Racer X Garage, I have a posting up that's asking people to vote on which project they would like to see in the very first t-shirt. So you can either go to our Instagram and do that, or you can drop a comment in this video right here. We have 5 options to choose from. We have the Drag Week Dakota. We have the Barn Find Nova, my 1968 Nova. We got Greg's 1993 GMC Typhoon. We have my 1968 Bel Air. And lastly, we have Greg's black 94 V8 Dakota. We actually don't have a name for that project yet. So if you have one in mind, also leave it in the comment of this video. We're open to suggestions right now. So we're going to let people vote on that for a couple weeks. Once we're done, I'm going to make an announcement on our Instagram. So if you're not following our Instagram, I'm asking you to do so because a lot of the merchandise information and our website and stuff I'm going to put out through there first before I create a video about it. We're going to give away a couple of those t-shirts, and I'm going to let you guys know how to be entered for that here shortly. So after the 2 weeks, after we figure out which project's going to be on our very first t-shirt, we're going to create the design and then share that with you guys. I'll share it on Instagram, and I'll also share it on YouTube as a small little video and explain how we're going to need you to participate in order to win one of those t-shirts. So that's coming. I just want to thank everybody again for watching these videos. We really hope you enjoy them. We really hope COVID goes away very soon. And it's looking pretty promising for the Dakota to go to Drag Week. So if so, that's going to be a great set of videos. But everybody be safe. God bless you. And here we go with the, I believe, episode 4 of the LS Swap on the Dakota. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Racer X Garage. I hope everybody's being safe out there. I've got, as you can see, my COVID-19 look going on. It's getting a little out of control, but, you know, as are the times. Anyway, today is going to be our 4th installment of the Dakota LS Swap, and I'm pretty excited about it because I'm going to be pulling the motor and transmission out today. We're going to finish up the driver's side motor mount. We're going to countersink it, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And then everything's going back in for the last time. So it'll be hard bolted up, and then from here on out, it's just going to be working on getting the motor running and truck driving. So pretty cool. So I'm going to get to preparing the engine and everything to come out, and we'll kind of go from there. First of all, I've made this throttle bracket here out of 3/16 steel plate. If you can see, this piece right here is actually part of the original throttle cable bracket for the like 3.9 or 5.2 Magnum engine. And then I have a factory throttle cable from the V6 that donor truck that I had. I'm not sure if it's going to work really well. So far it is. I didn't really record it because it's untested, and I don't want somebody to go out there and make something and spend their time on something if it's not going to work. But I'll give you an idea of how it works so far. And lastly, I want to show you that I've got the bench seat in now. I got all the door panels on. They're not fantastic, but they cover up the door like they're supposed to. So I'm still working on getting the right cluster for this, because the one in the donor truck had an electronic speedo, and in 1992 it had the mechanical speedometer. So I need to try to find one with mechanical speedometer. But the truck's still coming back together. If you didn't see in one of the last videos, I got new rotors and new calipers that are the right size for the 5-bolt conversion in the front. So if you want to see how we did that, check out go back on the channel and check out the 5-bolt conversion video that we posted a couple weeks ago. But yeah, now it's time to go ahead and get ready. And obviously I've pulled the fenders off, pulled the core support off, and I'm gonna get the motor and trans ready to come out. So get after it. Okay, so the motor is out, transmission's out. I'm gonna do a couple things today. The first thing is I need to finish up this motor mount. You can see this is the factory motor mount for the Dakota. And we've got it bolted up to this plate here. However, this bolt hole right here, hopefully you can see it. Yep, you can see it. I need to countersunk that from the back side so we can get that all bolted up. I was actually going to countersunk 2 bolts, but I'm not going to be able to do that, I believe. And we'll kind of go over that here in a minute. But I'm going to get this motor mount taken off. I'm going to take the other one off too, because I want to paint them while the engine is out. From there, we're going to pull the transmission off. I've got a new torque converter for it, so I'm going to put the torque converter in and get that all done. And then once I'm done painting and fixing this motor mount, it goes back in for the last time, so it's pretty exciting. Oh, actually, I do have to put a oil pickup tube on the 5.3. Right now we just have the oil pan on it, but we don't have the oil pickup tube in it, so I'll be doing that as well. Yeah, so let me get this motor mount off, and that'll be the start of the process. I'll probably also pull the transmission off while I'm at it. Okay, let me give you guys a closer look on these motor mounts. I don't think in the first video you were able to kind of see them done. So this is the driver's side. There's 4 holes drilled to mount the plate to the block, and then there's 2 holes drilled. We used a common hole here to mount the motor mount to the plate. I'm going to have to countersink this so I can have a bolt come in from the other side and stay flush. So that'll make sense when we do that here in a minute. This one needs nothing but paint. So this is the passenger side, and we actually only had to drill 1 hole for the factory motor mount. So we used this one as a common, and then there's one there, and then we cut out a slot for the bottom one here, making it pretty easy to bolt everything up. So as I said, I'm going to countersink the one on the driver's side, maybe both of them. I'll explain that here in a minute. And then I'm going to clean them all up and paint them, because they, you know, you can kind of see the surface rust already happening on them. So I want to get them painted, and we'll go over countersinking. So this is the driver's side mount again, and you can see these 3 bolts are where the factory motor mount goes. Upside down. Unfortunately, this plate mounts so flush against the block of the engine that you can't have a regular size bolt head on the back because it hits the block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bolt like this, and you can see how it has a tapered head on it. Well, in order to get that taper head to fit flush, you can use what are called countersink bits, and that's what these are. So you can see that this is the countersink bit. You can kind of see that they line up to be about the same width. So I'm going to use this 3/4 diameter countersink bit. I measured the head, and it's about 3/4 diameter like it says there, so that should work. Alright, so I've got it loaded up. The block side right here is facing me. I actually wrote on the back of the plate to know that that's the block side, and this is the engine mount side. So I'm going to drill for this one. Since the bolt hole is going to come through this way into the motor mount, I'm going to drill a hole right here with the countersink bit from this way outwards until I get this bolt to sit flush. Okay, I've got the bit chopped up there, and here goes nothing. Working pretty good. That is working much faster and better than I expected it to. So you kind of see the point of it now, where you can see how more flush that bolt is right there. I'm going to go a little bit more with the countersink bit. That's really, really good. Excellent. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I could go a little bit further, but I'm afraid it's going to get too thin. I like it though, because this piece right here is pretty thin in between these 2 bolt holes. So also what I'm going to do because of this, you can see it made that impression. This goes pretty flush up against it. I could go further, but I don't need that much. And I have a longer bolt, so I'm not going to just be using this one. But this is now pretty thin between these two, and I'm actually going to skip using this bolt on the block. It is not going to bend. I don't think the motor is going to make enough power to even really affect that at all. So I'm just going to I'm going to just use the 3 bolts here and then the motor mount plates there. And I'm sure somebody out there thinks that's a bad idea, but I think since it looks that thick on this side, but if I cut it here, you're not going to have much more material left. So, alright, let me get these cleaned up and painted, and we'll throw them back on the motor. Okay, I need to show you guys one more thing on the passenger side motor mount. If you look right here, I use my bench grinder to cut off a little bit of this ear. It really doesn't affect anything structurally. I need to clean up the back of that, but I had to do that in order to clear the bolt hole on that side of the mount, and I'll show you guys that here when I get everything bolted up. Okay, so the final product here is complete. If you can see down in there, that's where I made that notch just so it missed the head of this bolt. This is the passenger side mount. We have a shared hole here for the factory Dakota motor mount. Over here we have a notch, and that's why there's big washers that captures everything. And then in here you can see the only hole that we had to drill for the passenger side. So this is done. I need to check this bolt, but I'll do that real quick and make sure it's tight. But yeah, so this side is done. Let me move on over to the driver's side. And then, so here we go. This is done as well. Everything's tight. You can see where, if you look back up in there, which the light might not let it, that's why I had the flush. That's why we had to countersink that bolt, because there's a boss from the block here that would have been in the way of the head. So now that that's all tightened up, remember this has only got 3 bolts on the actual pad, and then I have the bolts that are drilled here for the factory motor mount, and we already know it fits. I just had to finish up that countersink, and it's rock solid. There ain't no way I could pick that thing up by that and it wouldn't even bend. So that's awesome. So motor mounts are finally completely done and in place. What's next is I'm gonna get the converter that I bought and put it into the transmission and then mate the 2 up. So I need to pull that out and get started on that.